It is one of humanity's oldest lessons: help those in need. A late-night breakdown, a stranded woman, and a man who appeared to be a good Samaritan. But sometimes, evil wears the mask of kindness. Sometimes, the hand that reaches out to help is the same hand that takes everything away. This is the story of Maya Collins, a 26-year-old woman whose life was cut short by a stranger she trusted. A case that shocked her community and left everyone asking, how well do we really know the people who stopped to help? Maya lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Friends described her as the anchor of their group, the one who remembered birthdays, who checked in when someone was sick, who always seemed to know when people needed a hand. She worked as a kindergarten teacher's aide and was pursuing her teaching degree in the evenings. Her dream was to have a classroom of her own one day, a space filled with children's laughter, artwork taped to the walls, and shelves of books she had carefully collected. Her mother, Diane Collins, said it best. She was born to teach. She loved children. She loved watching them grow. I think she saw the best in everyone. Maybe that's why she didn't see the danger. Maya's kindness extended to strangers. She believed in small gestures, holding doors, returning lost wallets, checking in on neighbors. She believed in Good Samaritans. And it was that belief, that trust, that would lead her into the path of a predator. On the evening of October 14, 2019, Maya had been studying with her friend Samantha Reed at her apartment. Around 10:45 p.m., she hugged her goodbye, packed up her laptop, and began the 20-minute drive back to her one-bedroom apartment. The roads were quiet, the autumn air cool, the pavement shining faintly with dew. She never made it home. Halfway there, on a dim stretch of Highway 75, her 2008 Honda Civic sputtered and died. The check engine light had been blinking for weeks, but she had put it off. Now, she was stranded. She pulled onto the shoulder, hazard lights blinking in the darkness. She called roadside assistance, but the wait was more than an hour. Her phone battery showed 19%. She tucked her cardigan close and waited. That's when headlights filled her rearview mirror. A white pickup slowed and pulled in behind her, flashers blinking. Relief washed over her, at least for a moment. A tall man stepped out, broad-shouldered, wearing jeans and a flannel shirt. He waved and called out, "Car trouble? Need a hand?" To Maya, it must have seemed like salvation. But the man who stopped was not a rescuer. His name was Eric Dalton, 38 years old. He claimed to be a mechanic. What Maya could not have known, what no one that night could have known, was that Dalton was not there by coincidence. Investigators would later learn that he frequently prowled rural highways late at night, searching for stranded motorists, especially women. His past was troubling: burglary, assault, and stalking allegations that never led to convictions. But on that roadside, he looked like just another man willing to help. Maya rolled her window down, only a crack. She explained that her car had broken down, that roadside assistance was on its way. Dalton smiled. He told her he was a mechanic, that he could take a quick look and maybe save her the wait. At first, Maya hesitated, but not wanting to be rude, she popped the hood. He tinkered under the hood for a few minutes, then told her it was the fuel line. An easy fix, but not one he could do there. He offered her a ride to a gas station, where she could call a tow truck. It was the first red flag. She had already told him help was coming. Why insist? A passing driver would later recall seeing Maya standing outside her Civic, arms folded, clearly uncomfortable, as Dalton gestured toward his truck. She thanked him, declined the ride, and said she would wait. But Dalton did not leave. He lingered, asking personal questions: where she worked, if she lived nearby. When another car slowed as if to stop, Dalton stepped closer, almost shielding her from view. By then, her phone battery had slipped to 8%. At 11:23 p.m., she sent a text to Samantha Reed. "Car broke down. Some guy stopped to help. Won't leave." Little creeped out. Samantha immediately replied, Want me to call you? Pretend it's an emergency? But Maya never saw the message, because moments later, Dalton made his move. What happened next was pieced together later from evidence and Dalton's own conflicting testimony. When Maya turned back toward her car, Dalton grabbed her. He forced her toward his truck, threatening to hurt her if she screamed. Her Civic was left behind, the driver's side door ajar, hazard lights blinking into the night. The illusion of a Good Samaritan shattered in seconds. The next morning, October 15, a trucker noticed the abandoned Civic still on the shoulder. Police arrived to find Maya's purse, laptop, and wallet still inside, but her phone was gone. There were scuff marks in the gravel, signs of a struggle, and just a few feet from the car lay a single broken earring. It belonged to Maya. Detectives knew immediately this was no simple breakdown. The case fell to Detective Mark Ellison and Detective Carla Hughes of the Tulsa Police Department's Major Crimes Unit. Ellison later said, "From the moment we saw the scene, we knew this wasn't a voluntary disappearance. Something had gone terribly wrong." News of Maya's disappearance spread fast. Her friends and family plastered her photo across social media. Missing since October 14th. Last seen on Highway 75. Please, help. Her mother, Diane, stood in front of cameras, her voice trembling. Maya is not the kind of person to just run away. She was scared. She texted a friend. Someone has her. Detectives scoured the highway and pulled surveillance footage from nearby businesses. On October 16, they got their break. A gas station camera captured a white Ford pickup pulling in around 11:40 p.m. with Maya in the passenger seat. She looked pale, frightened, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. Behind the wheel was Eric Dalton. When police ran his plates, his history came tumbling out. In 2012, he had been accused of following a woman home after offering roadside help. The case was dropped. In 2016, he was questioned after a woman reported being harassed by a man matching his description. Again, no charges. But now, the evidence was clear. The footage, the abandoned car, the broken earring. On October 17, officers arrested Dalton at his home in Broken Arrow. In his garage, they found Maya's phone tucked in a toolbox, powered off. In the bed of his truck, investigators discovered fibers matching Maya's cardigan. At first, Dalton denied everything. He claimed he had seen Maya's car, but never stopped. Confronted with the surveillance footage, he changed his story, admitting he picked her up, but insisting he dropped her off later at another gas station. Detectives knew he was lying. Hughes recalled, he couldn't keep his story straight. He was calm one moment, angry the next. It was clear he wasn't telling us the truth. With Dalton in custody, the search for Maya intensified. Volunteers combed fields and wooded areas near the highway. Drones scanned from above. K-9 units traced scents leading away from Highway 75. On October 18, just 4 days after she disappeared, search teams discovered Maya's body in a shallow grave outside Owasso, 15 miles from where her car broke down. She was still wearing one earring, the match to the one left near her Civic. The discovery devastated her family. Diane collapsed upon hearing the news. Samantha Reed, who had received Maya's final text, later said, "I'll never forgive myself for not driving out there." She was scared. She knew something was wrong. The truth, however, was that nothing Samantha could have done would have stopped what Eric Dalton planned. The trial began in April 2021 in Tulsa County. Reporters crowded the courthouse, and locals filled every seat. Dalton walked in wearing a wrinkled suit, wrists shackled, eyes fixed on the floor. The prosecution portrayed him as a predator who preyed on misfortune. Assistant District Attorney Laura Simmons told the jury, "He pretended to be a good Samaritan. But Eric Dalton is no hero. He is a man who saw opportunity in someone else's misfortune and took advantage in the most horrific way possible." The defense claimed Dalton had picked Maya up, but that she left willingly, and someone else must have harmed her afterward. But the evidence spoke louder. DNA under her fingernails matched his. Tire tracks near her grave matched his truck. Surveillance placed her beside him. The most heartbreaking moment came when Diane Collins testified. She spoke of Maya's kindness, her dream of teaching, her final text to Samantha. Through tears, she told the jury she trusted him. My daughter believed he was helping her. Instead, he stole her from us. The courtroom was silent. After 3 weeks of testimony, the jury deliberated for only 6 hours. On April 28, 2021, they delivered their verdict: guilty. Eric Dalton was convicted of first-degree murder, kidnapping, and evidence tampering. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For Maya's family, it was justice, but not healing. Diane told reporters, "No sentence will bring Maya back, but at least he can never hurt anyone else. That's the only comfort we have." Her school held a memorial service. Children released balloons into the sky, each carrying a note that read, "We love you, Miss Collins." Samantha Reed carried guilt for years. She told a local paper, "She texted me for help. I should have gone. I'll carry that forever." But Maya's family reminded her that none of this was her fault. The only one to blame was Dalton. In the wake of tragedy, Maya's family created the Maya Collins Foundation, dedicated to teaching women about roadside safety. They worked with police to establish designated safe zones at gas stations and rest stops. Signs now read, "Designated Safe Assistance Area." They pushed for legislation to improve response times for roadside assistance. And every October 14th, they gather for a candlelight vigil. Friends, family, and strangers tell stories of Maya's kindness, her laughter, her dreams. Diane always ends with the same words: "If you see someone stranded, help them, but safely. Call authorities. Don't approach alone." We honor Maya by protecting others. The story of Maya Collins forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. We want to believe in Good Samaritans. We want to believe kindness outweighs cruelty. But sometimes, danger hides behind generosity. Maya did nothing wrong. She was careful. She called for help. She texted a friend. She trusted her instincts. And still, she became a victim. Her story is not just about tragedy, it is about vigilance, about communities coming together to protect one another. Detective Mark Ellison later reflected, "We'll never know how many times Dalton tried this before. But we do know this because of Maya, because of her family. People will think twice before trusting a stranger on a dark road. And maybe, that will save someone else." Maya's story is a reminder that evil can sometimes wear a friendly smile. If you found her story as haunting and important as we did, share your thoughts in the comments. How do you think communities can better protect vulnerable people in moments like these? Like this video if you believe Maya's story deserves to be remembered. And subscribe to Evidence Uncovered for more in-depth true crime documentaries, stories that demand to be told, stories that honor victims, and stories that keep their memories alive. Because behind every headline is a life that mattered.